A very good morning to my dear children. Today I, Mrs. Nidhi Verma, is present with Unit 7 of Class 5 NCERT Experiments with Water Part 1. In this unit, we will be learning and exploring the interesting properties of water. In part 1 of this unit, we will learn about the facts about water, sources of water, uses of water, flotation and buoyancy, and states of matter. So, as you all know, water is one of the basic needs of all living beings, including the humans. We need water for drinking, cooking, and so many things. Also, we should know about a few facts related to water. As you know, our planet is Earth. Its surface is almost 70% covered with water. And the chemical formula of water is H2O. And because of so much of water, our planet Earth is also called a blue planet, because from space our planet appears to be blue. Now we will be knowing about the natural sources of water, which can be divided mainly into two parts. First one, freshwater sources, and second, salty sources of water. Now what do we mean by fresh water? The water which is fit for drinking. The sources are river, lake, waterfall, well, pond, glacier, ice caps, and underground water. The water which is potable, fit to drink and cook is called as fresh water. Now secondly, we have salty water. The sources are sea, ocean, and salty lakes. Most of the earth's surface is covered by oceans and seas, that is salty water. This water is not fit for drinking or cooking, but this is very important because we get our natural salt from the sea water. We will know about the uses of water, which can be divided mainly into two parts: domestic uses and commercial uses. Domestic means the one we use at our home in our day-to-day life. The domestic uses, the ones we use in our daily life at our home, are drinking, cooking, cleaning, washing, bathing, cooling in water coolers, and irrigation, which we do in our farms. Then we come to the commercial uses. Commercial means which is used in factories on large scale for business purposes. First, we use it in the preparation of packaged food items, then in dyeing, cleaning, washing, cooling, etc. in factories. In different types of factories at different levels, water is used for different purposes. And last but not the least, it is used for water transport. As you all know, more than 70% of our Earth's surface is covered with water. So, water transport is one of the important use of water. Let's do an interesting experiment regarding flotation and sinking of objects. Look here, we are having a bowl of water. The child is putting a stone in the bowl. It has sank to the base. Now the child is putting a spoon. It has also sunk in water. Now the child is taking a hairpin. Now he is putting it in the water. It has also sunk to the base. Now the child has taken a coin, and see, it has also sunk to the base. Now child has taken the cherry and it has also sunk to the base. So just look at the bowl of water. All these items have sunk in the water and they are at the base. See, we can see it in the picture. Now let us put some more items into the water. We are having a bowl of water. Now just have a look. The child has taken a matchstick and he is putting it in the water and it is floating. Now he has put an empty matchstick box. It is also floating. A plastic spoon. It is also floating. So you can see now he is putting a plastic bowl that is also floating. Now he is putting a coaster. Just look, it is also floating. Just have a close look. All these items are floating in the water. That means they all are lighter.
दिखाओ,
Now look,
एक
the
स्टील की
child is
कटोरी
having two
और
bowls,
एक
one of steel
प्लास्टिक की
and one
कटोरी.
of plastic.
दोनों को नीचे रखो,
Now he'll be
बाउल के
placing
पास
them
नीचे
one
रखो
by one. Now
और नीचे रख
first
दो.
of all he will be placing the
अब
steel bowl.
स्टील की
Just
कटोरी
look.
को लो,
Now he is
पानी में
taking
डालो.
steel bowl and placing it in the water. It is
अब इसको धीरे धीरे हाथ से
floating.
दबाते जाओ उंगली से.
Can you see that? Now he is pressing
हाथ
it
बाहर
with his
निकालो.
finger. It is getting filled
हाथ
with
हटा लो.
water and it is sinking. It has reached the base of the bowl because it has become heavy. Just see, the child is having a plastic bowl. He is placing it in the water bowl and it is floating. Now he is pressing it. The water is getting filled in the bowl and it is now sinking. But you can see clearly it is not going to the base but it is floating with the level of the water. Now we have an activity for you, a very interesting one, in which you will be able to understand the concept of sinking and floating in water. So what are the items which you require? All these items are easily available at your home. The items are water, bucket, ball, empty bottle, iron nail, steel plate, katori or bowl, spoon, paper boat and stone. So all these things you can collect very easily. Now the first step is take a bucket having water. You should fill it half or 3/4, not full. Then what you have to do? You have to put these items one by one and tabulate your observations. We have a table here. In the first column, we have to write the names of the things which floats in water. That is, which do not sink and can be seen on the surface of the water. And in the second column, we have the items which sinks in water. That is, which goes to the base of the bucket and cannot be seen on the surface. I hope this activity is quite clear and you will be doing it, enjoying it and will write your observations in the table. After doing that activity, that is the experiments with water, you would have found out the following results. Few things such as paper boat, empty bottle, katori and plastic ball floats in water. And few things such as stone, iron nail, steel spoon sank in water. Now the two questions which arises in your mind are, what floats in water? The answer is light things floats. And question number 2, what sinks in water? The answer is heavy things will sink in water. Now we have an interesting poem in your NCERT book which deals with the questions related to water, its behavior with different things. So let us read, enjoy and find out why. The name of this poem is Why, Oh Why. It has been written by Shishir Shobhan Asthana in the magazine Chakmak in December 1985 and has been translated by Anupa Lal. So let us enjoy this scientific poem. Why, oh why? A wooden boat in water will float, but a needle will sink. Why does this happen? Let me think. Why, oh why? An iron ship will also float, though it's much heavier than my boat. Why, oh why? But a needle, light as a leaf, thin as a pin, will sink right in. Why, oh why? Why does this happen? Let me think. Why, oh why? The child is quite confused why this happens. A wooden boat or a big iron ship floats in water which are much heavier, but a needle, very thin and small, sinks in water. Why does this happen? The child is quite confused and wants to know about this. Now let us try to clear the confusions which occurred in mind of the child. Just look at this picture. This big, heavy, gigantic ship is sailing so easily in the water. Now you must also be thinking why it happens. So you would have observed while doing the activity that when you immerse an object in water, it displaces some water. Similarly, when a ship like this is immersed, some water gets displaced. Now, what happens then? There are some forces which acts on every object. Look at the second big picture. You can see one arrow down and one blue arrow upwards. The downward shows the gravitational force. What is gravitational force? The force which is exerted by Earth on all the objects. Everything will fall towards the Earth because of the gravitational force. The same force exerts on this ship or any object which is immersed in water. But the water will exert a buoyant force as well, which will throw the object immersed upwards. You can see the arrow shown. So, if the buoyant force is greater than the gravitational force, the object will float in water. So this is the reason why a few objects will sink and others will float in water. Also, the ships or vessels which float in water are designed in such a way that they displace the water which is optimum for them to float. Now we would have got some idea that why do things float or sink in water. Actually, many years ago, a Greek scientist named Archimedes, he explained why things float or sink in water. The first one is the law of flotation, and second important thing which he told was the buoyant force or the upthrust. For example, look at the first picture. We have a glass of water, and when we immersed a wooden block, you can see this dotted pink line. The actual level of water was the pink line, but when the wood was immersed, it displaced some water and the level got higher because some space was occupied by this wooden block. So that water got displaced and we can see above the pink line. Then the buoyant force, as already explained, this is the force which is exerted on the immersed objects because of water. If the buoyant force is greater than the gravitational force, then the objects will float, and vice versa. That is, if the buoyant force is less than the gravitational force, then the object will sink in water. So, with all these experiments and explanations, we come to the conclusion that the floating of objects depends on the density of the object. Density, you can understand the molecules present in a substance. For example, matter is available in three states: solid, liquid and gas. Similarly, water is also present in three states: ice in the form of solid, liquid is water which we drink, and water vapor or steam is the gaseous form. So, the floating of objects depends on density of the object. If the density is lower than the water, it will float. If the density is more than the water, that is, if it is heavy, it will sink. Secondly, water displaced should be equal or more than the buoyant force. So these are the two main things upon which the floating or sinking of a substance will depend. You can see a solid, the molecules are tightly packed. That means the object which is in solid form is quite dense. And in liquid, we can see the molecules are sparingly distributed. They have space in between them. And in gaseous state, we can see the molecules are very far away. That is, it is less dense. Solid form is the densest form, liquid is less dense than solid, and gas is the least dense form of any substance. Now, the three states of water are solid, liquid and gas. Solid form is the ice form and liquid form is the water we drink, and third form, that is gas, is the steam or water vapor form. So we came to know about the three states of matter, and we are very fortunate that water, which is available all around, exists in all the three states of matter depending on the climatic conditions available to it. If we keep water in the freezer of our fridge, it gets converted into solid. And when we take out the ice from the fridge, slowly it melts and gets converted into water. And if the same water we put it in a pan and keep it on fire or gas stove, slowly it will convert into steam or water vapor and will suspend in the atmosphere. So we can see all the three states of matter in water. Now we have an activity for you. It is given on page 62 of your NCERT book. What you have to do? You have to put a few things in water and you have to write your guessed conclusions, and in the second column which you saw actually after doing the experiment. From first we will see A, we have an empty katori, so you have to put it in a bowl of water or bucket of water, and before immersing you should read all these questions and write what you guessed. And after doing these experiments, you have to write what you actually saw. So this is basically the experiment of floating and sinking, and you are going to get some interesting results. So enjoy this activity and write your observations.
Sip, sip water to quench your thirst. A gulp of water for an energy burst. Drink your water day and night. It keeps you feeling just right. Water is better than a sugary drink. It'll help you play, it'll help you think. Better than any drink on the shelf. It's so great for your health. Slurp, slurp water while at your school. A cold glass of water makes you feel real cool. It'll make you grin and help you feel fine. Drink your water all the time. The formal name is H2O. It'll make you strong, it'll help you grow. From the tap or by the case, water puts a smile on your face. Keep a bottle of water within arm's reach while on the field or at the beach. Running, swimming, riding, or on a swing. Water is everything. Water is everything. Water is everything.
I'm thirsty now. Can I have a glass of water? Please?
Now, we hope that the concept of floating and sinking must be clear to you. So, we have homework 1. Question 1 is straight true or false. You can write T for true and F for false. First part, light things sink in water. Second part, heavy things float in water. Third part, buoyant force is the upthrust exerted on the objects immersed in water. Fourth part, gravity is the natural force exerted by earth on objects to bring them towards the ground. In part 1 of this unit, we will learn about the facts about water, sources of water, uses of water, flotation and buoyancy, and states of matter. Hope you would have understood and enjoyed the first part of Unit 7, Experiments with Water, and the concept of floating and sinking would have been made clear to you, and you will be doing all your activities and homeworks very easily. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.